Hey guys, it's Brian again from LakeHickoryScuba and Marina. Got another video discussion real quick. This is another article on ScubaBoard. This one's called Teaching PADI Open Water Diver to Students in DIR Style or BackPlate and Wing. And the whole gist of the article here, or the board discussion is, should you teach them in a jacket, teach them in a backplate and wing, teach them in a back inflate? What is the proper way to do it? What's the pros and cons? And there's no really right or wrong answer here. It's going to be personal opinion. Everybody that posts it, it's their personal opinion, especially for the instructors, how they like to teach, what they feel comfortable teaching in, or what they feel comfortable teaching their students with whatever the students wear. The importance of it is, though, when we teach students, okay, we have, especially here at our shop, we do have our classroom gear or our rental gear that's also used for training. It's what's in our rental pools, what we use for training, and it is primarily Jacket Style BCDs. They're for shops. They're usually the cheapest on us. As much as we use them, they're the cheapest for us to buy, put in there. They're good quality, so they work. We do have some back inflates in our rental pool, and I've got 2 backplate and wings that I'll allow students to try if that's what they want. But we also have students that come in with their own gear. What it's important to remember, though, is those students need to be comfortable no matter what type of gear configuration they wear. They need to be comfortable in it. And the instructors who teach them, if they're not comfortable with that equipment, they need to explain that, respectively, of course, to that student. Instructors need to mature up and say, look, I've never used this gear. I'm not quite sure how it works. Let me teach you in this. And then once you've learned your skills, then use the gear that you got. Sometimes people forget that they pay for a class. They're not necessarily paying for their certification. They have to earn that certification. And through that earning that certification process, the instructors, they kind of call the shots on that. And the reason I think some instructors are reluctant to teach their students who wear certain types of gears, because maybe one, they're not familiar with it, they don't feel comfortable, and it is for a safety concern. But as far as what do you teach them in, a backplate and wing, a jacket style, a back inflate, any and all of it is good to use. And especially if that instructor's comfortable with it, if you can get your students to be comfortable with it. Some of the other questions that came up on this particular discussion was weight removal and replace. And the thing with backplate and wings, with a crotch strap, you're going to put your weight belt on, you're going to put your system on, your BCD or your backplate and wing, and then the crotch strap's going to go up over the weight belt. And so in an emergency, if you ever had to pull that weight belt and release it, it's going to get hung on the crotch strap, and it really ain't doing nothing but just throwing your trim off. You're not getting rid of the weights, it's still trapped. You have to remember before you release that weight belt to reach down, unsnap the crotch strap. And I think sometimes adding that one extra step, some instructors look at it as in, well, it's already an emergency, their mindset's not going to be right, they're going to forget to do that. And they probably would forget to do it, but as open water students. But that's where it falls back on us, to the instructors, to train those students the proper techniques. So as far as this board goes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with training in backplate and wing, jacket style BCDs, back inflate BCDs. I'm even going to go out on a limb and say it's even okay to train in side mount for open water scuba if the instructor feels comfortable using side mount, and if the instructor feels comfortable with his student. And this whole discussion here kind of goes back to interviewing your students before you train them, and let your students interview you before you train them. When they come in, even for the independent instructors, when you get a student who comes in and you're talking to that student, get to know them. Find out how long they've been in the water. Are they good swimmers? Have they ever tried scuba before somewhere else? What's their experience? What's their comfort level like? Because the more you know about that student, the more attention you may or may not have to give them when you're in the pool with them. So get to know your students. Don't be afraid to try newer things, as long as you feel comfortable with yourself and as long as you feel comfortable with your students wearing that too. So guys, like I said, I'll put the link for this this post in the description below. Make sure you check it out. Guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, you like us on Facebook, pin us on Pinterest, hit the little subscribe button down below, and as always, guys, we appreciate your business.